My dear child, there's a story about your beginning that has remained unspoken for far too long. A truth your mother carried quietly in her heart. She didn't tell you before, not because she wanted to hide anything from you, but because the reality of that day was beyond words, too vast for ordinary language. For years, she has watched you grow, seeing your light and knowing, deep inside, that the story she shared was only a glimpse of what truly happened. A surface explanation of a moment that had been set into motion long before your arrival, in a realm beyond time. Now, the universe is ready to reveal more, pulling back the veil so you can begin to see the full picture. You must prepare yourself, because your life has never been ordinary or accidental. From the instant you cried your first cry, it was clear that this was no ordinary beginning. That first sound was not just your first breath. It was a signal, a powerful vibration recognized across dimensions. Forces that have been in silent conflict for eons felt your presence immediately. The room where you were born was more than walls and machines. It was a crossroads between light and shadow. Archangel Michael himself watched over you, guarding your soul as the darkness sought to claim what could not be taken. Even the sky seemed to honor your arrival. The air shifted, the winds whispered, and thunder rolled in recognition of something sacred stepping into the world. You may have always sensed that you are different, and now the reason is becoming clear. There was a moment when time itself seemed to hesitate, pausing as your soul passed through a tear in the spiritual veil. You were crossing boundaries that few had ever crossed, a being chosen even before your body formed. There was an agreement made in the spiritual realm, a promise that has been quietly waiting for this moment to reveal itself. Think back to the stories you were told as a child. Listen to the silences and the spaces between words. They hold the truth that has been quietly waiting for you. Two beings were present in the room that day, unseen by any chart or record. One was a figure of pure, radiant light, wings stretching wide, a protector surrounding you completely. The other was darkness itself, lurking in the corner, whispering, trying to claim you before you even opened your eyes. But it could not prevail. Outside the hospital, the world itself responded. Winds carrying your name, thunder echoing through a sky that was otherwise clear, nature itself paying homage to your arrival. Before you were born, your mother felt a stillness unlike anything she had known. Not fear, but a profound, sacred calm. A voice, unlike any human voice, whispered, "Protect this one." Amid the bustle of doctors and nurses, she sensed she was not alone. A woman with silver hair appeared, unnoticed by anyone else, placing her hand gently on your mother's shoulder. She vanished as quietly as she came, leaving behind a strength that lingered. Even when someone, disguised like a hospital staff member, tried to take you away without explanation, you were shielded. A nurse, whose hands seemed to glow with light, intervened. From the very first moment, you were guarded by forces beyond the earthly, protected even before your tiny fingers could reach your mother's hand. Your life has always been extraordinary, even when you didn't know it. Every sense of difference, every moment of inner knowing, is a reminder of that sacred day. Now, as you grow into the truth of who you are, the universe is calling you to remember that you were never accidental. You were chosen, protected, and loved across realms even before you came into this world. If these words land softly but firmly inside you, pause for a second. Breathe. Let yourself agree with what feels true. That quiet amen isn't for anyone else. It's for alignment. When you entered the world, something shifted. Your mother felt it before anyone could explain it. Yes, her body was tired, but that wasn't why the tears came. They came because she sensed meaning. She had carried more than a child. She had carried a purpose she couldn't name. Sometimes the heart understands long before language catches up. During her pregnancy, she experienced moments that stayed with her forever. Vivid dreams, deep intuition, a sense of protection mixed with responsibility. Not fear, recognition, as if life itself was saying, "Pay attention. This one matters." Your arrival wasn't loud, but it was significant. The room changed. People felt it without knowing why. Some moments don't announce themselves, they imprint. Even those who moved on from that day carried a quiet memory they could never fully shake. You were born into a family line that holds both strength and struggle. That's not an accident. You didn't come to escape that history, you came to heal it, to interrupt patterns, to choose differently where others couldn't. The moment you took your first breath, something that once had power over your future lost its grip. From the very beginning, you carried intensity. You were alert, observant, deeply present. You watched more than you slept. You listened more than you cried. It was as if part of you was still remembering where you came from while learning where you had landed. Protection surrounded you, even when it couldn't be seen. Your mother sensed it at night, in the stillness, in the strange peace that filled the room. Instead of fear, she felt reassurance. So she prayed, not because she was threatened, but because she knew you were being guarded. As you grew, your emotions were strong. Your reactions carried weight. When you felt something, it didn't stay small. You learned early that your presence affects your surroundings, for better or worse. That's not a flaw. That's power learning its boundaries. There were signs along the way, moments that didn't make sense, people who appeared briefly and vanished, coincidences that felt intentional. They weren't meant to confuse you. They were reminders. You are seen. You are guided. Stay in the light. Now, as life unfolds, you may notice a pattern. Highs followed by sudden lows, breakthroughs paired with challenges. That tension isn't punishment or chaos. It's resistance. Growth always creates friction. When someone carries potential to change things, life tests their clarity, their patience, their integrity. You were never meant to live small or unaware. You were designed to rise consciously, to choose compassion over bitterness, courage over fear, truth over comfort. The reason you've sometimes felt out of place is because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to bring balance where there was disorder. And that quiet sense you feel now, that stirring, that inner nudge, that's not new. It's just waking up. Stay connected to what grounds you. Choose light even when it's harder. Trust that your life has weight, direction, and meaning. Long before you had words, before you even understood what it meant to exist, there was resistance around your arrival. Not everyone connected to your bloodline was ready for the change you represented. Something about your presence threatened old patterns, unspoken agreements, and long-held shadows. And yet, despite that resistance, you arrived anyway. That alone says a lot. Whatever forces tried to interfere underestimated one thing: you were not unprotected. From the very beginning, life treated you differently. You didn't come here quietly. You came with intention. And because of that, the world responded to you in extremes: protection on one side, pressure on the other. Some people pulled away from you early on, not because they hated you, but because being near you made them uncomfortable with parts of themselves they weren't ready to face. Your existence disrupted something fragile in them. You were given a name under ordinary circumstances, shaped by family expectations and human stress. But names work on more than one level. There is another version of you that existed before language, before labels, a deeper identity that doesn't need to be spoken aloud to be real. That part of you has always known why you're here, even when your mind forgot. Your life hasn't unfolded gently, and that wasn't a mistake. You encountered obstacles early, confusing situations, emotional traps, moments that felt unfair or unnecessarily heavy. It may have seemed like life was harder for you than for others, but in reality, you were learning discernment before most people even knew it was a skill. You were sensitive because you stayed open. You noticed things others learned to ignore. You felt what others numbed themselves to. That isn't weakness, it's awareness. There were moments when important parts of your story were misunderstood or even suppressed by people who loved you but didn't fully understand what they were seeing. Something meaningful was delayed, not destroyed, just postponed. And now that pause is ending. Old memories, instincts, and inner strength are resurfacing. You're remembering how to trust yourself again. You've always carried a quiet ability to stop cycles, to say, "This ends with me." That's why resistance followed you. Systems that depend on silence and fear don't hold up well around someone who carries truth naturally. You don't have to raise your voice to be disruptive. Your presence alone shifts things. Even the details surrounding your birth, the things that never quite made sense, the stories that were brushed off, were more significant than anyone realized at the time. People sensed something unusual but didn't have language for it. Not everything important gets documented. Some things are simply witnessed and felt. There's likely something about you, maybe a physical mark, maybe an unshakable intuition, you've always assumed was ordinary. It isn't. It's a reminder, a boundary, a sign that not everything about you is accessible to the world until the right moment. Those who brought you into the world may not remember everything clearly, but on a deeper level they know. That's why they sometimes look at you like they're seeing more than just the person standing in front of them. They understand, even if they can't explain it, that you're carrying something they were never meant to manage for you. Your dreams lately aren't random. They're rehearsals. Your mind and spirit preparing you to handle situations you once would have doubted yourself in. You weren't born into comfort, you were born into responsibility. Not the kind that weighs you down, but the kind that wakes you up. You've probably noticed that people respond to you before you speak. That your words land deeper than you expect. That silence around you feels charged. That's not imagination, it's presence. Authority doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just is. Whatever tried to attach itself to you early on has kept its distance since, waiting, watching. Not because it's powerful, but because it's afraid of what happens when you fully remember who you are. When that happens, long-standing patterns in your family, your relationships, and even your sense of limitation begin to dissolve. You were never as alone as you thought. Help showed up quietly, in timing, in coincidences, in doors opening just when they needed to. Even the losses shaped you, redirected you, protected you in ways that only make sense looking back. You were never late. You were never off track. On a deep level, you already know this. You didn't come here by accident. You came with awareness, even if it took time to surface. And now that it is, the light you've always carried isn't something you need to search for anymore. Before you ever opened your eyes to this world, you stepped into a story that was already unfolding. Not by accident, by consent. Long before your name was spoken or your heartbeat was heard, something within you agreed to enter a complicated chapter that others couldn't finish alone. Your arrival wasn't random or ordinary. It marked a turning point. From the moment you were born, your presence carried weight. Not the kind that presses you down, but the kind that shifts a room. You felt it your whole life. That quiet sense that you're holding something bigger than yourself. That feeling isn't imagination. It's awareness. Generations before you, a choice was made in your family line, one born from fear and survival. It left an imprint that traveled forward through time. But when you arrived, that pattern began to weaken. You weren't here to carry the burden. You were here to interrupt it. There was, and still is, something within you that can't be compromised. That's why life tried to confuse you instead of break you. Doubt was used because control wouldn't work. As you grew, challenges didn't come to destroy you. They came to test whether you'd forget who you are. And sometimes, yes, you question yourself. That's human. But even in those moments, a deeper part of you never fully lost its direction. You've always known, quietly, steadily, that your life has purpose beyond routine or expectation. That sense is about to sharpen. Your birth didn't just affect your family. It rippled outward. People tend to react strongly to you, even when you haven't said a word. Some feel instantly comfortable. Others feel unsettled and can't explain why. That's because your presence acts like a mirror. You reflect truth, who people once were, who they hope to be, or what they've avoided becoming. You don't try to do this. It simply happens. Early on, that inner light revealed itself when you stood up for someone who had no voice. It wasn't dramatic or planned, you just couldn't ignore what felt wrong. That instinct wasn't learned. It was remembered. And now that same awareness is stirring again, asking you to step forward in a new way. There is someone else moving through the world, shaped by a different part of the same story. They're not your opposite, they're your counterpart. When your paths cross, things will make sense that never quite did before. One of you carries understanding from what has been. The other carries vision for what's coming. And you, uniquely, hold both. Your life follows a larger design with key moments of meaning. One role you've already fulfilled without realizing its significance. Another is drawing closer than it appears. Even the quiet mysteries around your birth, your mother's guardedness, the unspoken tension, came from instinct, not shame. On some level, she sensed that what you carried needed protection. When she looks at you now, there's more than love there. There's recognition. You've spent much of your life feeling like you were waiting for things to truly begin, like standing in front of a closed door with the key already in your hand. The delay wasn't failure, it was timing, and the timing is shifting. You're meant to come into your strength during uncertain moments because your gift is clarity. When others panic, you see patterns. When things feel chaotic, you simplify without erasing truth. Even as a child, there was depth in you that made people uncomfortable. Not because it was dark, but because it was honest. Falsehoods don't last long around you. That's why truth, even unspoken, tends to surface in your presence. Some symbols, numbers, colors, names, have always felt familiar to you for reasons you couldn't explain. That's because they connect to a sense of belonging older than this lifetime. And the sadness you've carried that never quite felt personal? It isn't. It's inherited healing. You chose to help resolve what others couldn't. You're not just moving through your own timeline, you're gently repairing stories that began long before you were born. Your presence carries a quiet corrective force, like a steady hand restoring balance where it was once lost. Life isn't happening to you. It's unfolding through you, moment by moment, revealing meaning as you're ready to recognize it. There's a reason people feel different around you. Without trying, you give others permission to be honest with themselves and with the world. Your energy doesn't demand attention. It invites awareness. Even the details of your body, the marks you've questioned or overlooked, serve as reminders rather than accidents. Signals pointing you back to your own direction when you drift too far from it. Sleep isn't an escape for you. It's a continuation. In rest, your mind loosens its grip and your deeper intelligence steps forward, weaving insights together in ways that daylight logic can't always manage. You wake up changed not because of dreams alone, but because parts of you are constantly learning beyond the surface level of reality. You were never designed to disappear into the background. Your role isn't to imitate, but to illuminate. Leadership for you doesn't look loud or forceful. It shows up as clarity, steadiness, and presence. People trust you instinctively, often sharing things they've never said out loud before, because something in you feels safe, anchored, and real. Long before language took its current form, your essence was already known. There's a frequency you still carry that responds to certain people, places, and truths. When you feel suddenly energized, emotional, or deeply connected without explanation, that resonance is being stirred. It's recognition, not coincidence. The world will attempt to simplify you, assign labels, expectations, limits, but none of them will ever fit properly. You're too layered, too fluid, too intentional for confinement. Your impact stretches further than you can see. Even people who haven't met you yet may feel influenced by your choices, your courage, or your compassion. That's because your presence leads before your body ever arrives. You aren't here just to get by. You're here to mend fractures within families, within systems, within hearts. Sometimes this happens quietly, just by you being consistent and honest. Other times it happens through change that feels uncomfortable at first but necessary in hindsight. There may come a day when parts of your origin story are shared with you, or maybe they won't be. Either way, your life's meaning isn't locked in someone else's memory. It lives within you already, unfolding as you grow into it. From the moment you arrived, something shifted. An old weight lifted. An unseen chain loosened. That same current still moves through you now. This is why environments subtly change when you walk into them. Why animals relax near you. Why people sense when you're not being told the full truth. And why dishonesty feels loud in your body before it ever becomes obvious. You read energy the way others read words. Your awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering what's always been true beneath conditioning, fear, and expectation. As you reconnect with that truth, things around you will rearrange themselves. You may feel tired, emotionally sensitive, or drawn toward solitude, not because something is wrong, but because integration takes energy. People's intentions will become clearer. Some will lean in, Others will step back. Both reactions are information, not judgment. Your path is already in motion, and it doesn't need permission to continue. You were watched over when you arrived, and now you're learning to watch yourself with the same clarity. The veil hasn't lifted because you earned it, it lifted because you're ready. And what's waking up inside you isn't new power, but ancient familiarity. From the moment you arrived, there were forces that didn't quite know what to do with you. That tension hasn't vanished from the world, but its grip on you has. Whatever once tried to block your path no longer has permission. There's a deep, steady protection around you now, the kind that doesn't crack under pressure. You may sense it in small, ordinary-looking moments. Patterns that repeat, symbols that catch your eye, a chill of recognition, or that quiet inner yes that arrives before logic does. These aren't meant to distract you. They're reminders that you're aligned. As you grow closer to what truly matters to you, things start to feel clearer and more intense at the same time. You remember pieces of yourself others forgot. And with that remembering comes strength. Not everyone will be comfortable with it. Growth has a way of revealing what people would rather keep hidden, but that's not your responsibility to manage. Your presence alone shifts the room. You don't need to dim or explain it. Those early memories, colors, sensations, half-formed understandings, weren't imagination running wild. They were awareness before it learned to shrink. Most people close those inner doors early on. You didn't. That's not an accident. You were never meant to blend in or stay small. You're here to change the emotional temperature of the spaces you enter. Even your quiet moments carry weight. There's a natural ability in you to calm, protect, and help others feel seen. Sometimes without saying a word. Pay attention to what your hands want to do, how people respond when you're simply present. There's more there than you realize. You've also never been as alone as you might have felt. There's a guiding influence that has stayed consistent throughout your life, showing up as intuition, timing, or people who appeared briefly but said exactly what you needed to hear. That guidance is still active, nudging things into place in ways that feel subtle but precise. Some truths connected to your family history are slowly surfacing, especially ones that were once considered too heavy or complicated to share. When they come, they won't come to overwhelm you. They'll come to complete the picture.